Yeah.
Good morning, Scotty.
Hi.
I was wondering if you would tell our listeners about your experience with meeting Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche and what's your thoughts on him?
Well, I was in Colorado in the early 70s, and I went to Trappist Monastery to get off of drugs and drinking and being a Skid Row bum. And I was staying there. Trungpa is just starting his Naropa thing. Yeah, he wasn't a celebrity yet, but it was, he was a Tibetan refugee, Lama Trungpa, Chogyam Trungpa. This is way before he became controversial. But anyway, I was studying Buddhism because I was alienated from Christianity. And I knew that. I didn't call myself a Christian. I said, Jesus is the Buddha, Yeah, it's a title. And I was saying, I don't hold any kind of texts. The Bible, the Koran, sutras, the Hare Krishna literature, the Bhagavad Gita, that's all fine literature, but I only speak for me, I don't speak for anybody that's listening to this. It only takes you so far, you can't really, I'm not telling you can't. It's like, hey man, my reality, my truth is, I can't put anything in a book. The source of reality, the source of life, the source of the Dharma is not just Earth, but everywhere. It's beyond a book, a literature. Oh, and people get mad, man, not Trungpa. But anyway, I met him once. He came through the monastery. His English wife had horses, and they had this St. Benedict's monastery. I was living down in the barn. They didn't have lay. I was staying there. I stayed there about 7 or 8 months. They let me stay there, and I worked with this old cowboy and Brother Ben, this old monk, who was one of the last of the, what they call the lay brothers. They don't have lay brothers. And I was, going, because the monks were not fundamentalists. They didn't mind if you read St. John of the Cross or reading about what Buddhism was and trying to come to your own understanding. And say, hey, go down there, maybe. And he came down to the barn and, this is hi, and I met him. And I told him my story about being in Vietnam and being in the Marine Corps and infantry, getting wounded over there. And then he told me, I told him, well, I heard there's something over there. Well, you wouldn't like that. It's all these, I don't mean to pathologize anybody, man. I'm a high school dropout, but it's all these college kids my age. I was 27 years old at the time, 28. And my cohorts, my peers that hadn't been to Vietnam, hadn't been homeless, hadn't been renunciate like a bag lady or a homeless person, they wouldn't dig my stuff because I don't care, man. I don't care about middle class things, what I call bourgeois things.
How did Chogyam Trungpa change the face of Buddhism?
How? You're asking my opinion.
Yeah.
He brought the real thing, man. He put on a business suit, started smoking Marlboros, and and he just be what they call crazy wisdom. And these people are all very, Ken and Barbie, man. And now they're hippies, and now they're going to go do Boomer Buddhism and white bread yoga. Oh, we'll go to... And Chogyam had energy, man, he had charisma, and they saw that. And so he was working with these college kids that are now 25, 26, leaving the suburbs and dropping out. We're talking 1974, 75, 76. And he's just starting this place out. And the what we call Buddhism, he's using that format. And he had real charisma, and he had real juice. And they call that the way crazy wisdom. And he was getting beyond being dogmatic with their sutras and the stuff they were leaving Christianity and what Judaism, Judeo-Christian, suburban, bourgeois, metropolitan, their past experience, my peers. Well, I burned out of it probably in the military. I didn't So I have my stuff to go through, where I've been brainwashed, ideological, socialized is a nice way of saying it. And we all have an ideology, man. Trungpa didn't come from ideology. He wasn't, he was the real deal. And he'd get right past all their little subterfuge. They don't even know they're doing it. Me, you. It's this whole where we patronize the rabbi or the TV evangelist or a guy like Trungpa.
How did he blow people's minds?
He just blew them, man. He wouldn't let them he wouldn't.
Back in a minute.
Yeah,
I don't
Dave.
want to pry, but I think Dana just got an ass-kicking job.